I had somebody tell me today that they were struggling with forgiving their parents, and I want to help y'all out. If anybody else is struggling with forgiving their parents for things that they experienced growing up, or y'all excuse the shaky phone, I'm driving as y'all can see, but I want to kind of shed light in this area because this is something that I struggle with, and both of my parents, mother and father, died before I could actually forgive them. I dealt with this all my life. I'm 32 years old now, and I dealt with the spirit of unforgiveness with everybody all my life, but with my mom and dad, even after their passing, I didn't forgive them until they were long gone. And I want to tell you why you struggle with forgiveness, because you feel like you're allowing the hurt that you feel to be to not be vindicated. You feel like you're allowing somebody to get away with what they did to you without holding them accountable, when in actuality you need to be leaving their accountability in God's hands. Whatever they did, God saw, and they will reap what they sow. But most importantly, I want y'all to look at it like this: your mom had a mom and dad before you, and a lot of the times we are only able to love at the capacity that we were loved. So as a mom, if your mom didn't tell you I love you all the time, or didn't make you feel important in their life, naturally you're going to display that same behavior in your child, because that's all you knew, that's all you were taught. And so with my mom, for instance, my mom was she did drugs really early on, you know, was in that era, the era of crack cocaine, stuff like that. And so my mom and my dad did that early on. And my grandmother, and let me tell y'all, generational curses are real. You have to bind and rebuke those things off of your children. I mean, it is so important that you really do the work in trying to heal yourself, because you are fighting battles that your parents could not fight. God has placed you in a position to be able to fight off battles that your parents could not fight. And so with me, my great grandmother, I never met her. She passed long before I was born. I think she passed long before I was born. I never met her, don't know her, actually don't even know anything about her out of what I heard. And from my grandmother, my mom's mom, what I heard was my grandma couldn't stand her mother. She could not stand. I have a video of my grandma saying, my mom been dead over 30 years and I ain't been to the cemetery not one time to visit her. So evidently, my great grandmother was not the best grandmother, was not the best mother to my grandmother. So naturally, my grandmother won't be the best mother to my mom if she does not know how to break that generational curse, and which is exactly what happened. My grandma wasn't the best mom to my mother, and so she dealt with, you know, her era of things that went on. And I'm not gonna really speak on what my grandma dealt with, because again, I wasn't nowhere near born obviously around that time. I know what I heard, but I will say this: my grandma did do a good job at changing her life around at some point. She still wasn't the best mom, but my mom and them were older at that point, so she, you know, it was really nothing she could really do. I mean, she could, but you know, you get what I'm saying. And so I say that to say, with my mom loved me, but she didn't love herself. So she battled with things internally and placed the blame on me, because I was the only child. Sorry, not the only child. I was the only girl, and I was the youngest girl. And the things that my mom wanted out of her life, instead of her pouring into me and letting me shine in a department that, you know, her mom didn't give her free will to shine in, she looked at it as competition. And that, a lot of children deal with that. A lot of children deal with their parents being in competition with them. Typically moms are typically a lot of the time jealous of their daughters, or they just reflecting off of the childhood that they did not get to experience. They didn't get to experience you know, life being easy, or, you know, whatever their circumstances were. So they don't know how to allow you to prosper and flourish growing up so that you could be the best you could be. I don't know, I hope y'all get where I'm going with that. So my mom would put men before me, because that was the only thing that made her feel good. That's what made her feel good about herself, when a man was telling her and loving on her and, you know, showing her the attention that, you know, men try to show when they want something from you. And she would put men above me, and my dad did the same thing. My dad struggled with the same thing. He would put the women in his life before me. He would I can remember, I have so many stories of things that they did, but it wasn't until, like I said, it wasn't until my mom and dad passed that God started to show me how unforgiving I was towards them because of my experiences. And he started to show me that they battled with things too. They battled with things just like I had to go through things growing up. And typically they battle with way more than we had to. They live in a time where jobs were not easily accessible. Money was not easily accessible. Just so many things. Like, they battled where times were so much harder than they are now. So typically a lot of them struggled to make ends meet. But the first step to forgiveness and forgiving your parents, if they're still here, is learning to love them the way that God sees them. Understanding that they can only love you at the capacity that they were loved. Understanding that they too probably had it hard growing up. and that the only way that they know how to be a parent is by how they were parented. I took it so hard when God had showed me this, because my parents were already long gone at this point. And I took it so hard because I was just sitting there like, I know now, Lord, I know now. And I wanted nothing more than to have them back so that I could show them the love that they always needed. Your mom and dad needs love too. They need that love just as much as you did. And I guarantee you, the one thing that the Lord showed me is changing you, changing how you view things, changing how you see people, changing how you operate will change everybody else's perspective about you around you, and changes how everybody treats you around you. I'm gonna give you myself for instance. Ever since I gave my life to Christ, and one of the biggest things, even my friends said it recently, they was like, the biggest change they seen in me is no longer cussing. I don't use profanity anymore. And now that I don't use profanity, my friends are very conscious of what they say when they're on the phone with me. Yes, they still slip up because they're human, but just the fact that they have enough respect for me to try not to slip up is showing you that the change that you made in yourself will make people around you change. They'll operate with you differently. They'll move differently with you. So I say that to say, with your parents, if you're in a space where, you know, your mom or your dad is always disrespectful, or they just don't show you the love that they're supposed to show you as a parent, change how you are with them. Don't argue back with them. Don't disrespect them. And number one, the fifth commandment is honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days will be longer on this earth. Let me tell you, God don't be playing about how you treat your parents. So okay. And then also, you know, there's scripture that says parents are not to provoke the child, but still do what you're supposed to do first, and everything else will follow. That's the best thing that God had taught me in this time frame, is changing who I am and changing how I operate with people, and everybody will fall in line. You teach people how to treat you. If you're treating them right, remember when I used to say, treat people how you wanted to be treated? It's so true. If you treat people how you want to be treated, people gonna treat you how you want to be treated. It's so easy, y'all. It's so easy. So yeah, with forgiveness, understand that your mother and father also too had it hard growing up, and they were only able, again, to love you at the capacity that they were being loved. They might not have been loved the way that, you know, you want to be loved, because they were never shown that type of love. But I guarantee you, if you change and show your parents the kind of love that you desired, you're gonna get that in return. And let's just say that your parents are on the way out the door. Y'all get what I'm saying? Going to go see God in heaven. God is going to show you. God is going to send somebody. God has sent so many mother figures in my life. People who I'd be like, oh my God, like I used to say I wish this was my mom, but it wasn't that God was sending them to replace my mom. He was sending the love, because my mom isn't here no more. He was sending the love that I desired from my mom through somebody else. So yeah, y'all, learn to forgive and love as Christ loved the church.